Hello, it's Melissa, one of the dietitians with It's All About Kids, and today I'm going to show you a really quick way to make some soft pretzel bites. And this recipe is so easy that your kids can help you out with it. All we're going to be using is a can of biscuit dough, some baking soda, some butter, and then some seasoning. You can use some coarse sea salt, even a cinnamon sugar if you wanted to make it nice and sweet, but I'm going to be using everything with the bagel seasoning because I love it. So you're going to start by opening up your can of biscuit dough, which I've already done because, not going to lie, sometimes I jump a little bit when I open it, and I decided I didn't want that caught on camera. So you're going to separate your biscuits out. And you're going to take a paring knife and cut them into quarters. Now, using paring knives with kids is actually a really great way to get them started with some knife skills in the kitchen. We tend to, in cooking club, teach the kids knife skills, cutting up some soft fruits and then some harder fruits and vegetables. And then we also have them cut cheese occasionally, different things, but really letting them know that a knife is a tool that you can use and how to use it properly and safely. So making sure that when you're holding it, you're gripping it like this, not like this. So you want to make sure that you've got your grip so you're not touching the blade with your hands, and that you're always using a cutting board that's going to be stable, and you're holding whatever you're cutting with your other hand. And if you're going to get close to it, make sure you're curving your fingers away from the blade. So we're cutting these up, and they don't have to be perfect. Once you're done cutting all of your pieces of biscuit dough into quarters, you're going to take those and just give them a quick little roll to make them into a ball. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, and this is something that I know even your toddlers can do this part with you, playing with the dough, rolling it into a ball. Anytime you can play with dough, almost like Play-Doh, but it's food, is a good way to get kids involved in the kitchen. Like anything else in the kitchen, you want to make sure that you're doing this with clean hands, and that you're teaching your children that whenever they're cooking, they're using clean hands as well. So you want to make sure before you start cooking or before you start touching anything after your hands have been contaminated, that you're washing your hands for at least 30 seconds, and that you're using soap and warm water, or at least as warm as you can handle. I know that some kids, too warm, it gets too hot for their hands, but so as warm as they can handle, and make sure they really lather it up, get under their nails, and get into the palms of their hands like that, cleaning the tops and around their thumbs. So it's a good way to incorporate that while you're getting them hands-on in the kitchen. Now that I have all of my dough balls prepared, I'm going to start my water bath to turn them into pretzels. So I have just under a 1/4 cup of baking soda, and I'm going to pour that into the water. Give it a quick stir to get it dissolved, and then I'm going to let that come up to just under a boil. Now that my water is nice and hot, I'm going to start putting in my dough balls. And you don't want to put too many in at once, mainly because it's going to lower the temperature of the water too much, and then it won't be quite as effective. So I'm going to put about 4 in. And I'm going to wait for them to start to float to the top. I'm going to turn them around a little bit. It's going to be about 30 seconds. Okay.
Go.
Now I'm going to remove those, shake off any excess water, and put them in a single layer on a parchment-lined baking sheet. And then I'm just going to repeat that until I have soaked all of the dough balls in the baking soda bath. Now that I've gotten all of my dough balls out of the baking soda bath, I have them on the baking sheet. I've melted some butter over here, and I'm just going to brush the tops with the butter and then put on some of the everything but the bagel seasoning. Now, like I said earlier, you can use any kind of seasoning you want on the top. You could just use coarse sea salt. You could do cinnamon sugar if you wanted it to be a sweet pretzel. You could leave it just with the butter on the top and don't add any extra seasoning. It's really entirely up to you. You can even have a couple of different toppings out and then let your kiddos pick which ones they want to do. Now that I've got all of my pretzel bites topped, I'm going to put them into an oven that I've preheated to 425, and I'm going to leave them in there for about 12 to 15 minutes, just until they get a nice golden brown. Now that they've come out of the oven, you're going to see that they're a nice golden brown. And got a nice texture on the bottom as well. Parchment paper. And let them cool off a little bit before you eat them, just so you don't burn yourself. But I would say the sooner you eat them, the better they're gonna taste. And you can serve them with any sort of dip that you like. Right here I've got a sweet, like honey mustard, that I warmed up just to make it a little bit thinner. But you could use yellow mustard, you could use a cheese sauce, you could not dip them in anything and just eat them. It's entirely up to you. But as you see, this is a really quick and easy snack that you can make, that your kids can be hands-on while they're making it, and that everyone can enjoy. So until next time, I'm Melissa, one of the dietitians with It's All About Kids, and I hope you're having fun in the kitchen.